If you want to hit more perfect perfects than MLB The Show 26, everything I cover in this video will help you do exactly that. Now, I'm going to be breaking this video down into 3 separate sections: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Be sure to check the timestamps in the description so you can get exactly where you need to be in the video. Now, starting off with beginner, we are going to be looking at settings first. I'm going to lightly go over these because if you guys watch my in-depth setting guide, it'll explain absolutely everything that I have going on. Now, I will preface this by saying, if your settings are whack, you are never going to be where you want to be with this game. So your hitting interface needs to be on zone. PCI sensitivity, this is catered to your liking. You do whatever you want with it, whatever feels right. PCI, you want that on because you're hitting with zone. Your PCI can look like whatever you want it to look like. It does not matter to me. It's whatever you're comfortable with. Now, PCI anchor. I'm going to cover this later, but basically what this is, your PCI, if you have no anchor on, is going to start middle every single time, allowing you to make adjustments from the exact center of the strike zone. If you have this on, you can choose a specific spot in the zone where you want your PCI to start. Lastly, on this screen, you need your swing input on buttons. This allows you to have a normal, contact, and power swing. You're mainly only going to be using the normal. There are times where you will need to contact swing. Now, moving into your hitting view, you want this on strike zone. If you are brand new to the game and you learn strike zone first, then you will have no need to change your hitting view later. Hitting depth of field, new setting to the game. I recommend turning this on. This blurs out your background so you can focus solely on the ball. The last setting I'm going to cover is the ambush hitting controls. Turning this setting off does not mean you can no longer ambush hit. The controls that you need to use will no longer be under your strike zone. And the reason I'm saying turn this off is because having it on actually lowers your frame rate while you're trying to hit the ball. And in a game that requires extremely fast reaction times at the high difficulties, you want every single frame that you can get. Now, I'm going to cover something that I know not a lot of people talk about, but that is your controller, how you hold it, and your modifications on it. Now, with the introduction of PCI sensitivity this year, you don't really need the modifications as much as you did before to be competitive. Some people didn't ever use them, and those guys are cracked. Not everyone can be like them. So starting off with how you hold the controller, you don't want to have a death grip on your controller. You want to hold it kind of loose. This will allow you to have free movement within your hands because your limbs aren't going to be flexed the entire time. You're not going to be firmly gripping the controller. You just want it kind of sitting right on the inside of your knuckles. You shouldn't even have to wrap your fingers around it to be able to hold the controller. Now, next, I'll go to thumb placement. If you're gripping that lip on the inside of your thumbstick, then you can have, precise movement wherever you need to be. Like this, you don't really get the most precise movement, but holding your thumb right here allows you to have extremely precise movement within your thumb. Now, moving on to the side where you press your buttons. I was watching Kyle's stream last night. He was talking about how he presses the button with the tip of his thumb. Now, there were multiple people saying in the chat that it's way more efficient to kind of hit the button with this part of your thumb. So pretty much the exact opposite of the joystick. So instead of, having your fingertips barely on the button, you kind of want to cover it like this, but make sure you're only really hitting X or A on Xbox. This side of the controller, you don't really need to be precise on. It's pretty easy to hit one button and not the other. So allowing for the flat part of your thumb to be able to hit that button when you want to is more important than being precise with your click. You're only ever hitting it once per swing, so there's really no need to have your fingertip on it because you're not going to be spamming the button anyway. Now, the last thing I will talk about on the controller is your modifications. I am currently running a low control freak stick on the left stick. This is completely personal preference. And then I'm running a high rise stick on the right with no precision ring under it. So it has free movement, but I can also be precise with it. It's kind of like aiming in Call of Duty. I used to like running the high rise sticks back when I actually played, and I feel like they benefited my aim a little bit. Pinpoint pitching, you kind of need to be precise with, so I just find this works best for me. And I also am running a light precision ring on my left thumbstick. Now, the next thing I want to cover under the beginner tips is the custom practice mode under the main menu. So how you get here, from the main menu, you're going to scroll down past exhibition to the instant action tab. Once you're here, you just scroll all the way to the right and you'll see custom practice. Now, why this mode is important. This mode right here will allow you to get the most reps in the most efficient amount of time possible. You're not going to be playing a game on exhibition mode where you have to pitch every 3 outs. You're not going to get the in-between inning screens. You're going to get constant pitches thrown to you, and you can work on specifically what you need to work on. And another thing I'll say, is that you are never going to get really good at this game without a lot of reps. It's the same with any other game. I've been playing a lot of Rocket League recently. I don't know if you guys have ever played it, but in order to learn a specific mechanic, you need to practice that mechanic hundreds, if not thousands of times. That's why the pro players have thousands and thousands of hours dumped into that game. It's the same thing that applies to this game. This includes picking up on pitches, pitch speeds, PCI placement, and a lot more. I mean, there's a lot of difficult mechanics in this game that a lot of people overlook. They think they're just going to hop on here, smash some baseballs, and hop right off. That's not a thing when you get to the higher difficulties. You need to practice if you want to get there. If you're cool with being casual and all you really want to take out of this is my settings, then that's completely fine with me. But if you want to be competitive, I highly suggest you stick around. Now, a custom practice mode explanation. You pick whatever 2 teams you like. If you're really struggling to hit a specific pitcher in Diamond Dynasty, like let's say you're struggling to hit Paul Skeens, you can go right here, select the Pirates. I'm going to select the Reds because that's my team. I'm going to hop into the game. Pick whatever field you like and enter practice mode. Now, once you are in here, if you selected the home team, you are going to have to switch your practice options to the hitting side. All you do is press start on whatever console you're on, go to practice type and select batting. Now, once you're here, you can select whatever batter you like. Obviously, I'm gonna select Ellie. And if the pitcher you're struggling with is Skeens, you can select any different pitcher on the Pirates, but obviously, your best bet's going to be Skeens because he's the hardest to hit. Now, before I cover these other settings in here, if you just want to start practicing right then and there, all you do is press start again, and here you are. Now, once you're in here, Skeens is going to start throwing pitches, and you are going to get constant reps. I recommend, if you're ever going to practice your hitting, never be on a difficulty lower than All-Star. Even if you're brand new at the game, if you learn how to hit on All-Star first, everything else will come easy to you. You should not be in here practicing on rookie mode. You should not be in here practicing on veteran. All-Star is the best in-between difficulty. Every single mode you play online will be on All-Star. That includes Battle Royale, that includes Events, that includes Ranked up until you're 700 rated, which is pretty high up there in Ranked. You won't even touch Hall of Fame until you're above 700 in Ranked. And you won't touch any other difficulty below that ever online. Now, other things you can change within practice mode. You can get yourself back to this screen, and I can control entirely what Paul Skeens is throwing. Let's say I really struggle with hitting the sinker. I can turn all these pitch frequencies down. I can crank this sinker pitch frequency up, and I can even make it a certain specific location that I want him to throw, just so I can see it over and over and over and over again. So let's say I really struggle with the low and end sinker. I can fully select for him to only throw low and end sinkers. That way I can see it over and over and over again. I don't recommend picking any one specific zone. If you already know where the pitch is going, it doesn't really help you. But you can pick one specific pitch type, like sinkers, and you can make it to where he doesn't throw any balls whatsoever. Or you can just make it to where he throws wherever the hell he wants and learn how to read that pitch. But as a beginner, I would select all 9 of these zones within the strike zone. That way Paul Skeens can throw only sinkers, but they're all going to be strikes. So you can hit every single corner. You learn how to hit down the middle pitches. You learn how to hit inside, up, outside. Every single kind of sinker that can possibly be thrown for a strike, you will see it. Now, the next thing I want to run through with you guys. I just explained custom practice mode. Now we're going to talk about your hitting approach. This is extreme for beginners. At a low rating, or you might run into some of these people in BR in events, you are going to run into people that don't want to throw you strikes. And without years of experience in the game, you're going to want to swing at those pitches that aren't in the zone. So what I fully recommend for somebody who's new at the game is pick a specific spot in the zone that you can crush 80% of the time. Now, for me personally, anytime I'm ahead in the count and I don't have 2 strikes, I'm looking for my pitch and my pitch only. Me particularly, I like pitches up in the zone. Pitches up in the zone are the easiest pitches for me to hit home runs on, so I'm obviously going to be looking there when I'm ahead in the count. Essentially, anytime you're in an 0-0 count, a 1-0 count, a 2-0 count, a 2-1 count, or a 3-1 count, you are only going to be looking in that specific spot. Whatever spot you choose, whatever spot you hit the best, You are only going to be looking there. If the ball goes anywhere else except for exactly where you want it, you are not swinging. Patience when hitting is one of the things that a lot of people like to overlook because they think they're just going to hop on the game and crush the baseball. What patience will allow you to do, it'll allow you to get the pitch count up for the pitcher that you're facing, especially if you don't like him. This is huge. This will lower his energy. If you're crushing pitches, this will lower his confidence, which boosts your stats tremendously. That's a gameplay mechanic. If your pitcher's confidence is low and his energy is low, your hitter's stats go up. The PCIs get bigger. It's easier to make contact. It's easier to make solid contact. Your PCI doesn't even need to be on the ball most of the time if you're facing against somebody that has no confidence and their energy's red. So the next game you play, keep those counts that I listed off in your mind and keep that approach in your mind of only swinging if the ball is exactly where you want it. And I promise you, just from that tip right there, your hitting will improve tremendously. Now, keep in mind, this tip only works if you actually focus on being patient. If you're going to hop in the game, think about it, and still swing at everything, obviously the tip's not going to help you. Now, moving into the intermediate section of the video. Tip number 1 is going to be pay attention to where your eyes are focused when the pitch is being delivered. If you're not focused at all, say I'm looking around the room, who cares? Oh, Paul Skeens is throwing his pitch. Now I got to lock in. I'm missing. What I need to be looking at every time is where his arm slot is and where that ball releases. It's about right here on the screen. I learned that from just literally watching one pitch. I guarantee you his arm will cross right through my PCI. And it does. So figure out where that spot is on the screen for whatever pitcher you're facing. And as the pitch is being delivered, focus on that spot so you can see the ball as soon as it's released. This is one of the things that you can learn over time. You can learn, the spin of the ball. You can learn what direction a pitch goes in when it leaves the pitcher's hand. You can learn speed. You can learn timing. It all comes with mechanical practice over time and doing the same thing over and over and over again. If you walk into every at-bat with the last tip, your approach, you'll learn it over time. If you go into every single pitch with this focus of paying attention to where your eyes are looking, it'll become second nature over time. And that's essentially what you want. You want to be able to go into a game, not even think about all these things, and just do them eventually. Now, the next tip I have for you guys is pay attention and learn your opponent's patterns. If I'm going against a guy online, and I know that every time I have a left-handed batter in the box, he's going to throw me a low and inside sinker, maybe my approach changes a little bit. Maybe I start hunting that inside sinker. Maybe instead of looking up in the zone, if I know he's going to throw there because he's done it every single time, then I sit my PCI there and I crush it when he throws it. If you know he likes to go curveball, slider away on 2 strikes, recognizing that and paying attention to it will help you read him much more efficiently. And obviously, any pitcher in the MLB is not going to be as predictable as, some 16-year-old that you're playing against. That 16-year-old's mind, he has one strategy in his mind. He does it for every single batter. As soon as you pick up on that, you're going to be able to read him faster and faster. You might only get a couple runs out of it, but a couple runs could win you that game. Now, the next thing I have for you guys is before you play an online game, you need to warm up. If you're hopping into an online game and you're free balling and you haven't warmed up a lick, the odds of you performing well are extremely slim. Now, you might hop on 1 day out of 50 and you're just cracked. Sure, that's going to happen from time to time, but majority of the time, that's not the case. And it doesn't take very long to warm up. I mean, just hop into custom practice, take 5-10 minutes, square up some baseballs, get yourself feeling good, get your confidence up, and then you can hop into that online game. It's not a huge time commitment, but it is a huge benefit. Now, if you hop into warm-ups and let's say, you're getting thrown a pitch and you look like that on 80% of your swings, I mean, your best bet is going to be don't hop in an online game. Or like that. I mean, shit, that wasn't even on purpose. But if you look like that, your best bet's not going to be hopping into an online game and expecting yourself to hit well that day. There are going to be a lot of days, especially if you're new, where you can't hit the baseball at all. You can't focus on the baseball. You don't know where the ball's going. And then there are days you're going to get on here and you're absolutely cracked. It feels like the ball's going in slow motion. It feels like you can read every single pitch. It feels like the movement on every single pitch isn't messing with you at all. It feels like your timing's on. It's just like baseball in real life. There are games where you're going to go 4 for 4. You might have a double. You might have a home run. And then the next day, You play another game and you go 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. Some days are going to be better than others until you get extremely consistent with this game. If you're in a game and you notice you're really struggling to hit the low and away fastball and he's spamming it, you can change your PCI anchor preset to sit down, low and away. Then you hardly have to move it if he continues to spam that pitch. This game's all about the little adjustments that you can learn to make over and over and over again, building your consistency and repetition. As much as I know you guys don't want to hear practice, just practice. This is a mechanical game. This is a game that you have to practice in order to pick up on certain things. There's not some specific tip I'm going to give you in this video that's just going to immediately make you better at the game. If you combine all of these tips and you practice them over and over and over again, I can guarantee that it will give you the ability to win the majority of your games. Now, once you have all of the beginner and intermediate tips down pretty well, then you can move into the advanced tips that will just take your game to a whole nother level. Once you're really comfortable with your PCI, the first tip I'm going to give you is that top dot on your PCI, that top diamond on my PCI. If I aim that top dot at wherever the ball is coming in and it lands and I'm perfect timing, then that results in a perfect fly ball, which I'm sure, as most of you know, 90% of the time, depending on the hitter that's at the plate, that's a home run every single time. Obviously, you're gonna have your flukes here and there, depending on what field you're playing at, depending on who's hitting. The majority of the time you hit a perfect fly ball, it will be out of the ballpark. So learning how to get under the ball and aiming that portion of your PCI at the ball can be an extreme benefit for you. It will take you to a whole nother level. Now, next tip is learning how to track the ball with your PCI instead of flicking from wherever your anchor is. So instead of my anchor being here and I'm flicking to wherever the ball is going, I'm going to have my PCI where the ball is and track it. You see how I slowly went down with that pitch? Obviously I was late on it, but I tracked it all the way down there. So I'm starting here and I'm tracking it in, and look at that, home run. I'm starting here where his release point is, I'm tracking it, boom, another home run. That's 2 in a row. Literally as simple as that. Now, the last tip I will give you advanced players is coming here, going into your settings, and from time to time, even if you're not playing these difficulties online, is implementing legend and GOAT difficulties into your practice. Learning these pitch speeds, learning the way the ball moves on these difficulties will slow everything else down for you. It will make every other difficulty feel a hell of a lot easier if you can hit consistently on legend and on GOAT. GOAT especially, because you will never touch GOAT online. It is no longer implemented. The highest difficulty you can play online is legend. Legend is above 900 rating in ranked seasons on Diamond Dynasty. So by implementing these difficulties from time to time and practicing everything else I gave you in this video, you will become an absolute legend with some practice. Now, if these tips have helped you at all, or I introduced a new topic today that you never would have even thought about without coming across this video, then consider subscribing. Consider watching some of my other tutorials. I'm going to be implementing a pitching tutorial onto my channel here in the near future. If you guys want to watch my gameplay to see how I kind of do things and how I think during the game, then be sure to tune in. If there's something I could have added that you guys maybe think I missed, let me know. Give me a comment down below. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching to the end. Now get out there and go kill some shit. Love you guys.